Have you ever wanted to be so good with Invoker, but you still noob? Well, today is your lucky day. Yo boys, my name is Meric and welcome to my channel. So today's video will be really long, and it is the guide that you have been waiting for. It's Invoker guide. So today I will explain everything, starting from early game to how to lane against so many heroes from mid game to late game, and I will show you even all the combos that you can use with Invoker in the early game or even late game. Anyway, let's get started. So Invoker is an intelligent range hero. He's a nuker, disabler, right clicker and even escaper. So he's everything basically. And also don't forget that he's very cocky, especially when he kills someone with Sunstrike.
I must have stepped on something.
So Invoker is a mid lane hero. He have 10 spells that you can use, which are, the first one is Sunstrike. It's an AoE spell that you can use in any spot on the minimap. And it's pure damage. It can even go through BKB, so it's one of the strongest spell for Invoker. Number 2 is Cold Snap. It's an annoying spell that Invoker uses to mini stun the enemy, which is more like mini freeze or something like that. Number 3, Force Spirit. So Invoker summon Force Spirit, 1 or 2, it depends on what talent tree you choose, and they deal a minus armor, and trust me, they are very annoying in the laning stage or even late game. Number 4, Deafening Blast. It's an AoE disable that can push the enemy and disable them from right clicking. So it's more like Heaven Herbert, but it's an AoE, so it's really fucking annoying. Number 5, Ghost Walk, and my friend call it Meric Walk, since I'm so fast with casting this spell.
Run, bitch! Run!
So Ghost Walk is a spell that makes Invoker invis and fast. Also he can slow the enemy while he's next to them, and also it can show that he's walking next to the creep because he will slow the creep as well. Number 6, Chaos Meteor. It's the big ass meatball that deal an AoE damage, and it's one of the strongest spell for Invoker. Number 7, Tornado. A tornado that Invoker used to blow the enemy heroes on the air. Imagine it's more like a Yule Scepter, but Tornado can debuff the enemy spells. Like if the enemy have double damage rune, you can debuff it with Tornado, and even Ember Spirit Flame God, you can debuff that as well with Tornado. So it's really one of the most annoying spells that you can use. Number 8, Alacrity. It's pretty simple. It gives you an extra attack speed and also bonus damage, especially if you are using it on yourself. You can even use it on the creeps, Sage Creep, you can use it on the Force Spirit, you can use it even in your allies. So it's really one of the best spells that you can use for bonus attack speed. But if you use it on yourself with bonus, like if you have 3 Exalt, it will give you a bonus attack speed and also bonus damage. Number 9, EMP. It simply burns your mana, and it's really annoying spell that you need to always use, especially in the late game. Number 10, Ice Wall. And finally, an Ice Wall that can slow the enemy, and it's also an AoE spell, and it's one of the most annoying spell that you can use because you can kite the enemy so badly with it. Now there's 3 balls above Invoker, which are Quas, Wex and Exalt. Having 3 Quas would regen your HP. Having 3 Wex will give you an extra movement speed. Having 3 Exalt will give you a bonus damage. And R, which is Invoke, and it will invoke your spells, like 3 Exalt can give you Sunstrike, 3 Quas can give you Cold Snap. So pause here and read how to invoke the spells, because I don't want to go through very basic stuff. Now since I introduced Invoker, let's talk about his starting items. There's 2 starting items at the moment. The first one is North Talisman, Fairy Fire and 1 Iron Branch, or you can swap that Fairy Fire with 3 Iron Branches, it depends on what you want. The second item build is Wraith Band. It's old one, but I really like it because you can finish your Ring of Aquila, so you can give an extra armor for your Force Spirit and for yourself, and also you can have that mana regen, and you can even buy like only Ring of Basilisk So you can have Knot of Talisman as a starting items, then you can even buy a Ring of Basilisk, so you can have the extra region. Or you can even have another Knot of Talisman because you want to dominate the lane. And 2 Knot of Talisman is really strong for Invoker. But it depends on how the lane goes. If you are losing, don't do it. Just buy Knot of Talisman or Wraith Band and finish your Ring of Aquila, or Knot of Talisman then go straight for Midas, like boot Midas. Or you can even buy that Ring of Basilisk because you don't want to purchase so many alacrity, because you don't have mana the whole time, because you want to use your Force Spirit and even the alacrity to farm the jungle. But that's in general. So it depends on how you want to go. But for me, I usually go for Knot of Talisman. It's either 2 or I get 1 Knot of Talisman, and if I find myself that I'm not winning the lane, I will just purchase a Ring of Basilisk because I want to have that extra region for my mana. So before we start, you need to understand that you can play Invoker in so many ways. You can play Quaswix Invoker, which is basically you can burn the enemy mana, and you can just use Cold Snap, Tornado, Ice Wall. These are the kind of spells that you can use as a Quaswix Invoker. And also Alacrity, I actually forgot about Alacrity. And if you want to play Exalt Invoker, you can do that by maxing Exalt, because you want to have the heavy burst damage like Meteor, Deafening Blast, your Sunstrike. That's the damage output of Invoker, and also the Force Spirit. So that's how you can play or approach Invoker. And when it comes to items, you can buy whatever you want. It depends on how you approach Invoker as well. Now let's jump to how to level the skills in Invoker. Now, how to level up Invoker usually depends on against who you are playing and what do you need. If there a chance of the enemy ganking you, or your team have a good heroes that can gank, it all depends on that. But I will show you the levels of Invoker in Dota buff, and I will take the most popular one. So the first one here is where you are playing against a nuker, and you are not a good matchup for that, like Queen of Pain, Lina, Death Prophet, a hero that will constantly nuke you. So against this kind of heroes, you need to level up Quas to region up, but don't get more than 4 Quas. And remember, it's not necessary to have 2 level of Exalt before Quas. Sometimes you get level 1 Exalt, then you can go 2 level of Quas, because you have a hard lane where you constantly getting harassed and you don't have that much region, because you want to use the Quas to region up. The second one is a standard one, where you only max Exalt for Sunstrike and 3 levels of Quas. Then you start maxing Exalt and Wex. This kind of levels are more toward to playing safe, and you have no chance to kill the enemy mid laner, and you just want a lane so you can go for a pussy build. The third one is where you want to dominate your lane so badly, like if you are playing against a melee hero like Monkey King or maybe Ember Spirit, you want to have level 1 Exalt. Then it depends. If you want to go for Alacrity, I would sometimes actually go for Alacrity, like level 2 for Wex, so I can have that Alacrity on. Then I will go for Exalt again, like 2 level of Exalt, then 1 Wex only for Alacrity. And sometimes I get 1 Exalt, 1 Quas, because I want to have that Force Spirit, because it helps me a lot against heroes that have no armor, like maybe PA or Monkey King, because he started with 1 armor, so Force Spirit will come in handy against him. So how to level up Invoker, it all depends on how the lane is going. You can check Dota buff, and I will drop the link down in the description, so you can check how many levels or how you can even approach Invoker and how to level up in the laning phase. Invoker talent tree. So now we will look at Invoker talent tree, and I will explain everything. Now level 10 talent tree will either give you 15 damage or 125 HP. And we will always go for HP, because 15 damage is really nothing, and HP will always help you because you want to survive a lot. Level 15 talent tree, we have Force Spirit or 30% gain in XP, where you actually should think between both, because I like Force Spirit and I always love to get Force Spirit, like getting 2 of them is always perfect scenario for me. But if I'm losing, I will always go for the talent tree where I gain 30% XP, because with Hand of Midas and 30% XP, I will actually gain a lot of levels, because I'm losing, and actually 1 Force Spirit is not gonna actually end my life. And 30% talent tree gaining XP would actually can turn the game upside down, and I might even win it because of that. Level 20 talent tree. It's either attack speed or stats, and both are really great. I like both of them, but I'm a little bit toward to a tanky invoker. I don't like to be squishy. I don't like if the enemy jump on me, it's the end of me. No, I don't like that. That's why I always go for stats. And sometimes alacrity comes in handy, especially if I'm actually winning so hard that I want to just get an extra attack speed, because I want to use it with alacrity and cool snap so I can just kill the support so easily. And the last one, level 25 talent tree. It's either an AoE deafening blast or cooldown on tornado. Also here you need to pick one of them, but you are really need to think, because actually if I'm defending against like a good pusher in the high ground, I will always go for tornado, because I want to just keep cleaning the creeps and just using tornado non-stop. I want to spam it against the enemy. But in the same time, if I'm playing against heroes that have illusions, I will use deafening blast. Like I'm playing against a PL, deafening blast and AoE deafening blast will always help me, because we can identify which PL is the real one. That's why I really love playing with the deafening blast. But a lot of time I actually pick tornado over everything, because I want to be that invoker that can disable you, because I usually use tornado, ice wall, AMP, then I can kite you. I will force you to use BKB and stuff like that, and I will get to that even later. Now let's jump to the laning phase. After you take the rune and block the creep, I give you a small tip. Always position yourself like this, so you can take the rune and block the creeps, since Invoker have a slow movement speed in the early game. Now Invoker in the early game, his damage is not the best, and heroes like Queen of Pain, Lena can out CS you in the first creep wave, or actually the 2 creep waves. So this is the trick will always help you to get CS, which is using aggro, and you do that when the creep wave are far from you, or you know that the enemy will contest on denying, and it's really hard to lane against them. Like Queen of Pain, Death Prophet, Lena, those kind of heroes can actually have a good early game damage, and they can nuke you. So whenever you see the creep HP is getting low, use aggro, so you can guarantee getting that CS, and the creep will be out of reach of the enemy, and you are gonna make it hard for the enemy to deny it. That's why I always use aggro, because I want to make the enemy suffer when they try to deny. Also, one level of Wax for alacrity is good, especially against heroes that have a high damage, so you can secure your CS and also harass the enemy with the alacrity. And remember, always try to get the last hit on the range creep, since it can give you a lot of XP, and if you actually the enemy deny the XP on the range creep, you will suffer a lot in the laning phase. Now some tips about Invoker in the laning phase. Number 1, consider your attack animation when you want to take a CS, especially if you are playing against heroes that have a fast attack animation like Queen of Pain or TA. Also try to get close to the creep whenever you want to try to take a CS, so you can close the distance between you and that creep, so you can take the CS so easily. Number 2, do not stop moving while you are trying to take a CS, because you might play against Pudge or Mirana, so you consider that you always move, that the enemy won't predict where you want to go. Number 3, if you are playing against a melee hero, summon your first spirit and always use alacrity whenever you see your creep is low, because I know that the enemy will try to contest on getting this CS, so I can either deny it or try to deal as much damage as I can with alacrity to the enemy. Number 4, use high guard advantage, especially if you play against nuker, and also don't get close to the creeps for no reasons, especially if the creeps is full HP, because the enemy might nuke you. Number 5, try to dodge the enemy spells, for example Death Prophet or Lena nukes, and that's pretty simple by always moving and focus on your creeps, because when your creep are low they will nuke it, especially if they walk and hit the range creep, then they will try to hit the other melee creeps, like they will hit this melee creep then the other melee creep, because they want to make it low so they can try to take a CS when they nuke it, and even when they want to nuke it, they will try to actually use it to deal as much damage to you. So when you see that happen, try to walk to the left side or the right side to dodge it. Number 6, if you play against nukers, get 2 levels of quas or even 3 levels, and always try to have the quas so you can regen up. And when you ever try to get the last hit, switch to triple exhaust, because you want to try to get that extra bonus damage so you can secure the CS on that creep, and switch back immediately to quas so you can use that time to regen up. Then whenever you want to try to take a CS again, try to use exhaust again, switch to exhaust. So that's basic. Number 7, if you play against a heavy ganking enemy, you need 1 level of Vex, so you can use that Ghost Ward because they won't carry a dust in the early game. Number 8, make sure to always watch the minimap for Sunstrike, because that's your leverage with Invoker, is to Sunstrike the enemy, and you can do that by watching the minimap only. Whenever you see the heroes on the minimap are getting close to each other, it means that you need to check it immediately, because there's a Sunstrike chance to use it. And I will explain it in another video how to guarantee getting a Sunstrike on the enemy. Number 9, if you see the enemy mid laner ganking other lanes, you need immediately to summon your Force Spirit and use Alacrity to push that tower, because Invoker can get objectives so easily with Force Spirit and Alacrity. That's how you punish the enemy mid laner when he ganks other lanes. Number 10, if you die more than 2 times in the mid lane and dying by the enemy mid laner because they outplayed you or ganked you or something like that, consider farming other camps that are close to you with Force Spirit and Alacrity to clear it, because whenever you go to the mid lane and die, it will be actually not worth it at all. That's why you always try to farm the camp that are next to you, and whenever you see the creeps are hitting your tower, get back to that creeps so you can take it, even if you are in the middle of taking a CS on that camp. Number 11, remember that you can get kills. You are not a farmer to farm all games. You can get kills when you get level 4 or 5, because you will actually have 2 level of exhaust or 3 level of exhaust and 1 level of quas or Vex, so you can kill the enemy with Core Snap, Alacrity, Sunstrike, Core Snap, Alacrity, Meteor, or any other combo. So try to check my guide where I show you how to kill the enemy mid laners. Number 12, you are strong under the tower. Always remember that. If the enemy is trying to kill you under the tower, remember to summon your Force Spirit and Core Snap the enemy, because they can't kill you at all. They can't, because the tower will hit them, the Force Spirit will hit them, you will hit them. That's a chance for the Force Spirit mini stun, because they will actually die. And I killed so many enemies, like I got even triple kill against so many enemies under my tower, because I only use Core Snap, Ice Wall, then I use even Meteor, or I just let the tower do his job. That's how you actually do it, and try to always punish the enemy who's trying to dive under your tower. Number 13, never favor getting a deny over getting a last hit, and also do your best to deny the enemy creeps, since the creeps now will give you an extra XP. That's why Invoker is really important, especially when it comes to denying the creeps, because Invoker is an XP hungry bitch. I'm sorry guys, that was it for the part 1, because I don't want to make a 40-minute or 50-minute video, so I want to divide it into parts so it can make it easier for you guys to understand it and even watch the video. So in the part 1 we talked about Invoker, how you itemize in the early game, in the laning phase, what you need to do. In the part 2 I will talk about laning phase in details, how to lane against so many heroes like Queen of Pain, Arc Warden, PA, and so many heroes that will counter Invoker, and how you can lane against them. And also I will talk about the combos and show you all the combos that you can do to kill the mid lane heroes, or even the combos that you can do in the late game. Also how to kill heroes in the late game, how to position yourself and stuff like that. And I will talk about how to Sunstrike and stuff like that in another different video, and strategies that you need to do with Invoker. So it's gonna be more like maybe 3 parts max for me. Then if I want to make any other parts I will tell you guys. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to share it, like and subscribe to support my channel more, because I actually spent like 10 hours making this part 1, so probably I will take another 10 hours to make the other part 2 and the other stuff. So I hope you guys like this guide, and see you in the next video.